Today we are talking antiques. Always out of breath. About antiques, vintage, secondhand, and why it is important for you to shop these kinds of items. The last thing you need in this world of mega consumerism is somebody telling you what to buy. But I promise that this is important. There is a reason that there are many reasons why I love antiques, I love vintage and secondhand. Half of my closet is secondhand, and I would say like 90% of my home decor is secondhand as well. As we've been entering 2025, I've seen so many people talking about low buy, no buy, anti-buy, bringing in less to our home and being more intentional with what you're spending your money on. And so I want to talk about that today and how in this no buy, low buy time of your life, or if you're thinking about having it be a no buy or low buy time, that you can still work on curating your home in a way that will make it beautiful, personal, and intentional. There is such a plethora of antique and vintage items that already exist in this world that we do not need to be buying new, especially new that looks antique or vintage, because why not just get the real thing? So with that being said, here are our what was that? Here are 5 reasons that you should be only buying secondhand, antique, vintage items when it comes to your home decor. Number 1, we are done shopping at big box stores for anything except necessities. Things like light bulbs, stuff like that. Like, that's whatever. But when it comes to aesthetics, we're done. First of all, there is so much that is already on this planet. I saw a quote the other day and it said something to the effect of that everything you have ever owned in your life is still on this planet. There's so much on this planet. Go to an antique store near you and it is filled. It will be filled. Every corner, things are shoved in there. You might have to dig to find something you like, but that's half the fun of it. And we're just not, at least I am not supporting big box stores when it comes to home decor anymore. I shop Etsy, eBay, antique stores. I have plenty of friends that have antique businesses like mine. I don't need it. They're doing us a disservice. And everything that you purchase from there is poorly made, overpriced, trendy, and going to be out of style in half a year. And it's just not worth it. We're not doing it anymore. We're not giving them our money. Number 2, when you shop an older item, you are going to get craftsmanship, quality. I'm not saying that everything you're going to find out there at a thrift store or an antique store is going to be worth your money. However, when you find something that is, these things are built to last, engineered with creativity and skills that are lost today, and it's just fantastic to find items like this and to be able to display them in your home. That brings me to number 3, which is the history. When you find an item secondhand, it comes with a story, which is one of my favorite parts about antiques and vintage items. The lives that it has lived up until it's come to you is such a fascinating thing to me, and I know a lot of people get kind of scared or overwhelmed by that idea, but if you think about it, that these are people just like you, then it's really not so scary. I've found many a book that has had an inscription inside, you know, Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, and it's just so tender to see. I had a box that I got in Norway that had been written on with some kid practicing their alphabet, and it's just one of those things that to me connects us as humans, brings us together. That to me is worth so much more than buying anything new. Number 4 is individuality. This means that your home becomes a space about you. We live in a time where everything is an aesthetic. Instead of trying to fit into that box, you get to create a space that is your aesthetic. I've definitely been on the Nancy Meyers train, seeing a lot of videos and content around her design aesthetic. It's so iconic. You can see something and know instantly That's Nancy Meyer. That's just such a wonderful thing to be able to create, and you can do it too. You get to have the chance to create a home that embodies what your aesthetic is, and having secondhand pieces in your home is going to make that easier. You're going to have things that people have never seen before. I have sold in my shop so many things that I had to do a lot of research on because I had no idea what they even were, and it's so interesting. For example, this is an antique loving cup. What this would have been used for is at a party or a gathering, everybody would have taken turns drinking from the loving cup. Has 3 handles, so it was easy to pass around a table, and each person would have taken their turn drinking out of this. You could do that today, and I'm sure there are cultures where that is still a thing, but you know, most people might not get such a kick out of doing that, and I totally get it, especially in today's world where there are germs running rampant. But this, in today's world, would make a lovely vase. At Christmas time, fill it with roasted chestnuts. I don't know, the options are endless, and it's such an interesting talking point because when people come to your house, they're going to be curious about it, which is actually reason number 5. Talking points. So having something like this in your house is going to bring interest in that whenever you have guests over, they're going to have questions and they're going to ask you about these amazing pieces that you have adorning your home, like the loving cup, and you'll be able to tell them the history about it and then play around with how you're using it today. Okay, my feet are killing me. I'm just gonna take a seat. Building a collection and curating your home is going to take a long time. That's what's so fun about it, is that it's a constant thing that you can be working on and working towards, bringing things in as you experience things. And if you buy something, you know, down the road you end up not liking, that's okay. And your style can change over the years, and that's okay because you are changing over the years. Let me show you something. I sell quite a few old antique writing desks, boxes, things like that, and I had yet to come across one that felt like mine, and so I have sold all that I have found. Then my friend went to Paris. She also has a shop. I'll link her in the comments below. And she found this piece, and when I saw it, she did like a scan of everything she'd bought that day, and I saw it in like a glimpse and was like, what is that? I have to have it. You have to sell it to me. This is my lap desk that it literally was meant for me. Here it is, and it has a GL on it for Gentrileeblog. And I just couldn't even believe it. The colors are my branding colors. It comes with the original key, which is absolutely adorable. And I just like, it was meant to be mine, right? All these years it was somebody else's who had my initials, and now it's mine, and I just find that so incredibly special. Oh, I forgot this is in there. My friend painted this. I'll link her too. Don't mind my nails. But now I can use this for receipt organization as I go throughout the year, actually use it to work with. And I'm so excited, and I'm just like honored that this piece was able to come into my life, and like I'm never selling it. It has my name on it. If you are shopping for things for your home, of course I would be honored to help you with that. I would love to find the pieces that speak to you, that feel like you, that enhance your home and your life. This video is in no way encouraging you to spend money. That's the opposite of what I want. I want you to spend money when it feels right. While we're on the topic, let's talk about what I think are the top, we're gonna do 7 trends that I think are going to be big starting this year and potentially building into future years. These are things that I have been seeing. I watch a lot of home interior videos, designer videos, and these are just things that I have seen. Number 1, silver. Silver is the new gold. I still am a gold girl when it comes to jewelry. I love gold jewelry, but I do want to bring in more silver. I did mention that in my last video, but especially in home decor, I want silver everywhere. And not just silver, it's going to be silver, chrome, pewter, nickel, those kinds of things. So fixtures, home decor, I'm going to see a lot more of those silver tones coming back rather than the brass or black. Although black, I think, is always going to be there. Number 2 is folk art. The past couple years have been very traditional, very old master style, which I mean, that's never going out. That's just what people were gravitating towards, and I think they always will. but I think that we're going to be seeing a little bit more interest in the folk art style of antique and vintage art, which brings me so much joy. I love folk art pieces. To me, they have such character and warmth about them. They add a little bit of that primitiveness to your home, and I'm all about that. So I'm very excited about that one. Number 3 is going to be more Gothic, Spanish Revival, even brutalist styles coming back, and that makes me happy because we just bought our vintage console table and had it restored. It's stunning and it fits into that category perfectly. It's something that we're going to keep forever. It was a complete investment piece, but I just love seeing that style coming back. People having interest in it. Things are getting moody, but still mixed with like whiter walls. Very like I said, like Spanish Revival, I think, is coming back. That's where you're going to see a lot of the black metals, the cast irons, in that kind of thing. Think Lone Fox. On that note is artisanal primitive pieces. So pottery, paper mache, Turkish antiques, things that look very old, very handmade. Those are things we're going to continue to see growing, and not necessarily overtaking a home, but enhancing a home. So you're going to have more of that mix. If you are a maximalist and you have a lot of very gilded kinds of things, you might start to see yourself wanting to add a little bit more of those organic pieces into your decor, mixing and matching, kind of like an opposites kind of thing. Next up is tech. This one is interesting. It's kind of a hot topic, but I've been seeing it a lot, and especially with Paige Wassel from Was. She and her friends have been saying it a lot, and I've been seeing it a lot more. You're gonna see cords sticking out, not having to cord cover every single cord in your house, letting a TV just be a TV. You're gonna see that trend a little bit more. Decorating with your own clutter, if that makes sense. I've seen that a lot too. Actually, what this category should be called is a lived-in space. A naturally lived-in space where you're not hiding the fact that you have an electric toothbrush. You're just embracing it instead. Next up is red, which is so funny because I think red obviously had its time in like the early 2000s. My mom had a red wall, and as time went on, my sisters and I convinced her to paint it gray. I know. And it's a nice warm gray, it's not bad, but it just is so funny because now red is back. And for so long I was definitely like anti-red, except in very certain particular ways, and I think I still am, but I'm a little bit more open to it now in bigger ways. I've been seeing a lot of red marble, red paints, and doesn't have to be a bright red. It can be like a wine color, like a very warm burgundy, even like a reddish brown, especially I think because brown has been so big, that's how red is kind of sneaking in here. But red is going to be huge. The pop of red theory, I think, is going to really take effect. People are going to start adding those pops of red into their homes, and I am all about it. I love the pop of red theory. I love having just a little bit of red, and I think that's how I've always liked red, is just in like the little bright pops. But I could get on board with like some red walls or some red marble. The red marble especially is stunning. Finally, my last prediction is kind of the whole purpose of this video: investment pieces. Instead of going to a big box store and buying everything you think you need in one go, people are going to be intentionally buying investment pieces, spending a little bit more for a lot less items to enhance their space, using what they already have, decorating with items they already have, and adding in just a few of those pieces that mean something, that maybe cost more but are worth the investment. And just remember that antiques almost always are going to appreciate in value, especially when it comes to art and books. You're going to see appreciation of value. Of course, the market's always going to depend on what's trending, but antiques and vintage pieces are always going to be a great investment. I hope that this was inspirational to you rather than stressful. That wasn't the intention at all. If it was stressful, I'm so sorry. I definitely wanted this to be educational and inspirational for your new year. And so you can start creating a space that has meaning behind it. Of course, you can always check out my website. There currently are still many items on there, and I have a 30% off going on right now to start the new year. And then hopefully within the next week or so, I'm going to be adding more. However, I also have a live sale this coming Sunday, January 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern on my Instagram, which is Gentry Antiques. And you can shop during the live sale with what I have available, including everything you've seen behind me today. If you did see something behind me that you were interested in buying, just DM me and I'll get you squared away. But again, I would love to be a part of helping you curate your home into a space that embraces all that you are. Be sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell notification so you get alerted anytime I post. I hope you're having a fantastic start to the new year and that the year brings a lot of peace and intentionality to our lives. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Have a great day.